Hi, thank you for joining us today for episode 10, I believe, of DALLÄSTHETIC podcast. I'm Jordan Roth, and joining us today is Alex Paulus, who's in from Memphis for his solo exhibition opening tomorrow night at Row 2 Art called Trophy Life. And, welcome, Alex.
Thanks. Hi.
Hi. So you had a show here a couple years ago. Oh gosh, what was the title of it? I know the title, or the key piece that we had for the postcard was the 0 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Yeah, we'll think of it. Alex has developed quite a following in Dallas and actually sort of around the world. Europe, they seem to really like you. You've got a gallery in Scotland.
Scotland, Edinburgh, and I'm going to be showing in Manchester at a fair there, I think, in October.
Oh, cool.
And I've been getting a lot of publications in London.
And then there was one in Italy last year, I think.
I think so. There was one in Portugal. I was on the cover of a magazine there a couple months ago. And there was one in Germany. It was about pizza. It was that Papa John's pizza painting.
Oh, that's a great painting.
It was about pizza in art.
Really?
And
oh, wow.
They were supposed to send me a copy, and they never did.
You know what? I know someone else who I think was interviewed for that.
Really?
Yeah. That's really interesting. It was a French publication, possibly?
No, it was...
It was German.
It was in Hamburg, Germany.
There was a group of curators in Paris doing an article about pizza and art as well. So
I think there was a big exhibit, and maybe it was a traveling exhibit.
Interesting.
But they didn't put any images of stuff that was in the show and the magazine. It was just other artists who used pizza in their art.
Huh. Well, I mean, I guess, like, it's a meme, more or less, and it traveled around the world, pizza and art. The pizza emoticon, I think, was a subject that they wanted to cover with the artist that I was talking to. And it was very kind of academic. The tone of it was extremely academic, and they asked him questions about, well, did you know that you would be painting images of the pizza emoticon in art? And he's saying, well, it wasn't really the emoticon that I was painting. I was painting pizza because I like pizza. And
that's really stupid.
Yeah. So your pizza painting is not stupid. It's called What Papa John Take Me Away. Mm-hmm. And there's a gentleman on
it's a little nude person sailing away on a slice of pizza with an image of Papa on the sail.
Yeah.
Or whatever that guy's nuts now.
Yeah, I've heard.
I think they got fired or something.
I think, yeah, they're trying to keep him off
because he's racist.
Camera. Yeah. You got to be careful of these pizza barons, the Red Baron.
Red Baron.
Yeah.
And Papa.
So one thing that people really seem to gravitate to with your work, well, first of all, the imagery is just, it's like really kind of deadpan and hilarious. And you deal a lot with death and with just kind of like maybe our, the parts of ourselves we don't like to talk about maybe occasionally. Mm-hmm. Not me, of course. I mean, I wouldn't resemble the paintings.
Not you.
But how did you get involved like in painting like death in particular, because I see that as a recurring theme?
The first piece I made like that, I was watching Arrested Development, and there's a scene where George Michael, the son, which is Michael Cera, he walks in, he's like really depressed. I don't know if his cousin broke up with him or whatever it was, but he walks into this house and then just like falls face down onto the ground, and he looked like a dead person. And so that was the first image that I used to create the first like little dead person painting. And then I just thought that was really funny, like seeing people face down on the ground, which I think that might have become a thing on the internet where people just like, maybe I'm thinking of planking or something.
Well, there's that too.
But then I started seeing people like with Facebook pictures of themselves like laying face down on the ground like a dead person. I thought that was really funny. I don't know why. And then I just started coming up with other scenarios that like, or I was seeing things in the news that I thought were funny ways to die. Like some woman, I don't know if it was Six Flags, and does Texas have a Six Flags?
Yeah.
I think she fell off of a roller coaster
because it wasn't happened here.
Latched tight enough.
Yeah.
And her kids were watching while she was like riding it, and she died. Yeah. Like, that's a fun way to die. I mean, that's really insensitive of me, but
I mean, that's true. I mean, she was maybe having a really good time.
Yeah. So then I started thinking, what are some really fun things you could do right before you die? Or like,
you could climb Mount Everest, right?
Yeah, I did that one called Nice Try Green Boots, and that was actually one of the only ones that I've ever painted of an actual person that's dead.
But you didn't do that in plein air or anything?
No. So I think there's over like 200 dead bodies on Mount Everest, and they can't take them off of there. And so some of them, that one that they call green boots because it's a dead body wearing green snow boots, that marks a certain point on the mountain. Then once you reach that dead body, you know you've gotten to this height or the whatever point on the mountain. So
people give each other high fives and whatnot when they get up there.
We made it to green boots. But no, that was one of the only ones I'd ever done of an act like based on an actual dead person, and I didn't really feel comfortable with that one. I think your mom bought that one.
She did buy that one.
And, I didn't want it in my house anymore, so I'm glad she bought it.
I bought one called Everyone. We all secretly hope someone dies in the monster truck rally.
Oh yeah, the little pink one.
Yeah, it looks like from a distance, it's just a little pretty pink painting, and it's got some little objects in the middle, and then you're like, oh, trucks, you know, and then you find out, oh, they're dead.
Well, yeah, because I took that photo, actually. It didn't have a dead person on it, but I added a little pool of blood.
You were at a monster truck rally?
Yeah, I've gone to a couple of monster truck rallies called Monster Jam, which at this current show that's opening tomorrow, I've got a Monster Jam painting. It's a really big one.
Nice.
And I've also done gone to some Monday Night Raw wrestling events that were equally as weird.
And there's a painting from that, right?
Yes, there's a big painting from that one about a guy choking on a hot dog.
Do you do this? Do you go to these things because you enjoy them or for inspiration?
Mostly for inspiration. I also think they're really weird, and I like the monster truck one. It was kind of fun. But the wrestling one was extremely weird. Like, I'd never go to another one of those again.
Wow. Yeah, that seems... I've never done that. There's a huge, wrestling subculture somewhere around here. I remember when I was a kid in Fort Worth, the Von Erichs were this big deal, the Von Erich family. And most of them died from different things.
Wrestling?
Not during wrestling matches, but somebody died from toxic shock, and it was really a tough time for that family when we were in like the 4th and 5th grade. There was like another Von Erich died, and I think, I probably shouldn't go too much into it because it's just maybe not tasteful, but.
Well, yeah. Memphis has a big wrestling background because Jerry Lawler is from there, and he was the one who had that fake fight with Andy Kaufman.
Oh, wow. Well, that's cool. Wrestling.
And so he still lives in Memphis, I think, and one of my friends did a big mural of him on the side of this shipping container outside of a brewery or something, and he was there to, like, christen it when they unveiled it. It was pretty cool.
That's kind of cool. The guy that fought Andy Kaufman. I mean, if you've met Andy Kaufman, that automatically makes you kind of cool. So I can appreciate that. We'll have to figure out what we do in Dallas that's like really maybe trashy and obscure that you don't do in Memphis. I'll see if I can think of something.
Dig something up.
If anybody watches this and you can think of something, then feel free to to email me, and maybe we'll do that. Have you ever been to Medieval Times? Or
no, that would be really fun though. Do they have that here?
They do have one. I've never been. That could be something.
I might have to go there before I go back to Memphis.
Yeah, it's not unique to Dallas, but I'm sure the Dallas one's unique. There's probably something about it. There's probably like a Texas tinge to it, even though Dallas is not very Texan.
I'll go there Saturday before the opening for lunch or something.
You know, I bet they're open for lunch. Of course they're open for lunch.
Yeah, that's a plan.
Oh my gosh. Okay, maybe I might join you there. So another thing, well, and we'll look at images in a minute, and we can people will be able to see, but like they're very well done. They're painted very well, but at the same time, there's kind of almost a childlike. At first view, someone who doesn't know art maybe would go, "Oh, well, I could do that.
My kid could do that.
Yeah, my kid could do that." And,
we'll make your kid do that.
Yeah, and it better mean something. I've seen you work almost, well, if people were cartoons, they'd be photorealistic. You've got a way of doing this, like, really clean, amazing, like these lips and faces, and so you've got the skills to do really anything with paint. What draws you to the kind of almost, it's not really folk art, but it's almost like a combination of like
it's sort of
folk
like
art and pop art or
illustration kind of combined with painting and drawing.
Yeah.
I really like George Condo. Are you familiar with his paintings? They're sort of cartoonish and a little scary at times.
Yeah.
But I sort of moved more towards this illustrative look with the little people and stuff. I think my previous show was more inspired by Condo.
I could see that for sure. I'd never thought of it, but it makes sense.
I don't know. I think I just like these sort of cartoonish, happy things. I mean, it's a nostalgic kind of thing too, but then giving it sort of a creepy twist. I was talking to Brian Jobe about this years ago, and he asked what inspired me to make stuff like that. And I was telling him there was a Motley Crue poster that my brother used to have. It was a Dr. Feelgood poster, and it was just sort of like a teal background with this like demon-looking person, and it scared the shit out of me, and I wouldn't go in his room because I'm afraid of that poster. And now I make paintings that look just like it.
Yeah, I was afraid of everything because I saw Poltergeist when I was like in the 3rd grade, and I couldn't. There wasn't much that I would do by myself for a while. And Iron Maiden posters in particular scared the crap out of me when I was a kid.
Those are great.
And I actually remember complaining to a teacher in the 4th grade saying, "I don't think he's allowed to wear that shirt at school."
Because you were afraid of it?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I got beaten up afterwards. But so you mentioned that there's like an illustrative quality, and that when you see work with kind of an illustrative quality, it's always appealing. Or it seems a good work is always appealing. But then you make it painterly, which is I think really sets it very far apart, and it's a style that I don't see anywhere else. Even though it's simple in a sense, the idea is not all that complicated, but it's pulled off extremely well.
When someone had written about that, it might have been on the It's Nice That, or one other one that wrote an article. They were saying that I could kind of hover between painting or illustration because it's like I'm combining both things in the same piece. And I'm starting to do that more with combining paint materials because I'm using a lot of paint marker, acrylic, house paint, and oil all on the same piece. And I'm really liking the difference in textures and just light values and different things that are coming out of that.
Yeah, if you're doing that well and you know what you're doing, then you can definitely do things other people aren't able to or trying to do. And yeah, the textures are really fantastic. I've always enjoyed that.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So the titles are another thing that really set your work apart. They're just so spot on and really kind of, sometimes they're cruel, but they're usually just unbelievably funny. And when did you start coming up with this stuff? Were you a class clown?
Kind of. I mean, I don't know. Not really. I thought I was funny when I was a kid, but I don't know if other people did. I think I never really considered titles much until I was in grad school, and all my stuff was really serious up until I did this one piece. They were like a little pocket Bible. I had torn pages out of it. It was either a Bible or a dictionary. But I like collaged them on this piece of canvas, and then I was making pieces that were sort of questioning creationism and evolution and like the difference between the two. And I think I was using dictionary and words as one thing that sets humans apart from animals or whatever. And I had an outline of a monkey standing upright with a word bubble with just like squiggles and garbled nothing in it. And there was an outline of a human crawling on their hands and feet with another word bubble that just said, "What?" And one of my friends came and saw that. He just started laughing. And he's like, "This is really funny. You should make your pieces funnier because this is really good." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I never really considered humor in my art. And I didn't really continue that in grad school because grad school is really serious.
Yeah.
But after that, once I was done, I was like, I'm just going to make whatever I want. And I started coming up with funnier titles and stuff.
I mean, I think, when you've got engaging work, a lot of artists aren't going to think to make it funny. But, I mean, art is meant to engage. And if you buy a painting, why not, smile every time you walk past it? Mm-hmm. And then also you're engaging, another level of intellect there. Did you ever write?
No.
No. Oh,
I mean, I had to write a thesis for my grad program, but.
And what was the subject?
It was the creationism versus evolution.
So,
and like the human body and how we have these vestigial organs and stuff that really don't serve any purpose. And it's sort of a telltale sign that our bodies have been evolving and we just have things that we don't need. And so that's what a lot of it was.
Do you think there's anything we have now that we're kind of using but not so much that's going to fall off next and just hang around?
I don't know if I can't really pinpoint stuff, but like, for example, we still have a tailbone, which we don't need that.
That's true.
We've got wisdom teeth or like molars. We don't need those.
I think that needs to go away.
Hair, we still have that, but we don't need it.
Yeah, I vote for that to go to.
Your appendix,
right,
I think is one.
Yeah, that is one.
Because they can just take that out. But they may have discovered a purpose for that recently, within the past year or two.
If things keep going the way they're going, we might not need our frontal.
We don't need our feet because we're just going to get everything delivered to us from Amazon.
Yeah.
We just need like one finger to push a button.
Yeah. And then as soon as the hoverboards come around, we don't even need our legs.
Yeah, we're just going to become blobs eventually. That'll be exciting.
Eating and yelling at people, yelling at our Amazon devices. Mm-hmm. Alexa!
I need more Tide Pods.
Yeah, I need more Tide Pods. I'm hungry. So I created like a little game called, now it's not called Name That Paulus. It's called Name That Paulus.
Okay.
And we're gonna put that on. And so it's gonna be real easy at first. And that's a pretty cool graphic, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I made that. And so what is this painting called?
That one is, I think that guy is choking on a hot dog.
I'm waiting for that to happen on the Jumbotron. This is...
diving into a pool of hot piss.
Refreshing. We missed the Cyclops here, but this is a fun slip and slide.
Yeah, that one's called My Favorite Creation, I think. And so it's just about watching people kill themselves.
And then what's this one?
That one's titled His is Better Than His.
It is better. And then, so we're going to go back into the archives.
That one's called Oh My God, Your Head Fell Off, I think.
Yeah.
That one's called I Think That Peep Tom Is Back.
Yep, I love it because it's a peep.
And oh, they didn't show it. He had brown socks with black shoes on.
And then something about Katy Perry.
That's the ecstasy of Katy Perry. It's a choppy picture.
It is a choppy picture.
0 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. That's about someone cutting Kevin's bacon face off and putting it over their own face.
So he can be 0. And
there's Green Boots.
Yeah.
Nice try, Green Boots. That's that dead person on Mount Everest.
We're going to get creative now. Now you just need to name things.
Heavy, keep on smiling. 2 idiots on a bench.
Okay, yeah. How about this guy?
9/11 Memorial, Trump.
Yeah. And her?
I hope I fall off this mountain.
I knew it. I knew that was going to be it. And then this guy.
My distant relative, my close cousin.
Oh no, he's getting robbed.
Memphis.
Just Memphis. I don't know what's going
Memphis
on here.
Part 2.
Yeah.
The return.
The return of Memphis. Just a couple more.
I Heart Tax. Government fools? I don't know.
And then this one, I don't know what's happening here. He might be dead. He might be a DJ. I don't know.
DJ Dead Mouse. Isn't that a thing?
Oh, I think it is.
Dead Mouse?
Now we have a dead bird. I mean, this is right up your alley.
Pretty Bird. It's like from
And then finally,
Dumb and Dumber.
This guy, Dumb and Dumber.
No, that was the bird one. I don't know. A dick with his thumb in the air.
I think that's good. Dick with thumb. Dick with his thumb in the air. I found some of the worst stock photos I could find, and that went about the way I thought it would.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we proved the point that it takes a little while longer than 7 seconds to name a painting.
Is that what that was?
Something like that. It's like 5 to 7 seconds.
Yeah, when I'm coming up with titles, sometimes I come up with a title before I come up with the idea for the painting. I've got like a list of titles on my phone that I just save.
I wondered about that.
And then sometimes I'll have an idea for a piece and I'll have the title, and as I work on it or finish it, I decide the title doesn't really fit anymore, and so I come up with like a list of 10 different ones and then narrow it down.
I see occasionally when I'm driving around or like walking through a grocery store or gas station, like I see things that I feel like I need to probably take pictures of and send to you, because like there are Alex Paulus characters like among us everywhere. And not like super easy targets like Walmart, but like just where you least expect them. Another favorite from the past was she was the prettiest girl in the gas station. Was it a great painting? I think that one's still available too.
Oh, really?
I think it is.
I thought that one sold.
It did.
With the Circle K in the corner?
Okay, that one did sell. There's another one that, it's the one where they're trying to shave their head. That one's still available.
Yeah.
Yeah. She looks like she might have...
That one's called These Hair Clippers Suck Dick.
Yeah, yeah. But she looked like she might have been the prettiest girl in the gas station too.
Maybe. Or it might not even be a girl. Yeah, it's just like eyes and a shaved head.
Another favorite of mine is the one that is called The Woman. Sometimes a woman isn't a woman.
The Upside Down?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what
And so that was a giant painting of the character from, what's the name of that show?
It was Jan Schuyler from Tom Goes to the Mayor.
Tonga, yeah.
And then they moved it over to Tim and Eric. Awesome show. Great job.
And they saw the image on Instagram. Someone from that show saw the image and gave it a thumbs up or a 100 or something like that.
Cool.
Yeah. About a year ago. And such a freaking awesome painting. I didn't know anything about that show, and it's great.
The best show ever.
Yeah. That's what it's called too, right?
Tim and Eric, awesome show, great
Awesome
job.
show, great job.
Yeah.
These images will be online along with the podcast, so people can see. So tell me, what are some things that people should be looking for when they come to the show this weekend?
A lot of tiny people. You'll see that. Textures. You'll see a lot of textures. Big pieces. I think the last show had a couple of big pieces and like a ton of little pieces.
Right.
This one's got a lot of bigger ones with a handful of small pieces.
Just a small number of small pieces.
So there's going to be a lot of big stuff to look at.
I know. They're really, and the size is, it's not only great that they're big, but the particular proportions that you made them, it's nice. I like, tall paintings that you can stand in front of and kind of feel like you're a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And I think kind of Rothko effect.
Yeah, the size of them really changes the effect of the piece too. Like if some of those really big ones were really small, they wouldn't feel as complete or interesting. I think.
They'd be fun, but not
just
not
having
all
them
there.
on that scale just really changes the dynamic of them, I think.
I was so glad you brought the Family Dollar painting, and that one's called Family Dollar.
Thank God they put a Family Dollar there.
Yeah, thank God you brought that painting. It's pretty great. But you stand in front of it, and I mean, it almost feels like you're in that world.
Mm-hmm.
I've described it a couple times as like, it's kind of like if South Park was a painting and it was really good and maybe a little funnier.
One of my friends thought the clouds looked like something from the Truman Show, just like this fake sky that someone painted on this top of the dome or whatever.
I could see that.
I didn't think they looked that weird, but
maybe
they do.
It's kind of a different world, and there's like a 2D. Well, they're paintings, but there's definitely kind of like a 2D thing that goes on. I love the new painting of Little Face, Big Head.
Big Head, Tiny Face.
Big Head, Tiny Face. That is killer.
Thank you.
And that works really well big. I mean, because it's huge.
Well, we were talking about that in a critique the other night, and initially I was going to put like a little hairline up above the top and maybe part of the ear on the side. And I did the face first, and I decided just to leave it because it kind of causes the viewer to imagine where the hair and the ear and the rest of the face is going to end. So yeah, I like that aspect
minimalist.
of it.
It's kind of minimalist, right? We've got a little bit of almost abstract in the show too, which I really like.
The hierarchic scale piece.
Yeah, that's
the little karate guys trying to kick higher than each other.
I love that. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to have to take down, but I'm going to have to try to make some room for a big painting.
Awesome.
Yeah, and see what I can do. And I think that those small pieces are going to be in pretty high demand at the beginning of the night. So also this weekend we have at the gallery, Row to Art on Hervé, so our Cedars Gallery, we have Brian Jones with his Spin Burn Repeat, which is a reprise of his famous Meanwhile Back in Dallas from 2013 with a burning Big Tex. And it's actually a burning Brian Jones dressed as Big Tex in case,
he tries to get, or someone tries to sue him.
Yeah.
Way to clarify that.
Yeah, I just wanted to be clear that it is Brian
For the
Jones.
world.
For the world, just for the world. And in that show, he's got several mandalas of himself as a fat Big Tex, dressed like a fat Big Tex. And I think quite experiential, overwhelming in some ways, but really really cool show. And then Alex Revier has an installation in the gallery under the stairs, and it's rounding out pretty well. There's some penises there, I noticed. I just thought I would throw that out there.
In whose stuff?
In Alex's. I noticed that he painted them he did kind of like a false mural with some butcher paper around the gallery under the stairs, and I noticed that mainly that was the first thing I saw. So
cool.
I like to give a penis warning whenever we have one. So in any case, it looks like we're running out of time, but but this has been great, and we're really glad that you made it back down to Dallas for the show.
It's good to be here.
I know that you brought kind of an enhanced aesthetic with these bigger works, and it's always changing, which is exciting.
I was saying I feel like this show is a little more cohesive. The pieces sort of feel like they're meant to be shown together, as opposed to the last show. I feel like I was kind of all over the place with subject matter, and like some of them were really highly rendered and more like caricatures.
Yeah.
And then there were some completely flat, abstract, weird-looking things. And now I feel like most of the pieces in this show go together really well.
The last one was a great introduction, because it was just like, here are 45 paintings or so that Alex has done over the last year or two, and have at it. And I can definitely see there's kind of, you feel like you're a spectator with these, and a lot of the paintings, because like a lot of them are events, whether it's a bunch of people, sliding to their deaths to be eaten by a giant shark, or choking on hot dogs at a wrestling match, whatever it might be.
There's a lot of death in this show too.
Expected
I'm
that.
not over that.
But it's death where you're not the only person seeing. So I don't know if that's a thing or not. But excellent work, Trophy Life. Tell me, where did the title come from?
So I was thinking a lot about Trump and how he tries to make himself look better than he actually is, or act like he's better. Like when he makes his face orange and has like fake teeth in, and has this trophy wife. So he's sort of trying to create this trophy life all around him. And it's just not working.
No.
It's not working too well.
And also, there's this whole thing about all the trophies people get.
Like, people competing to like be the best or be best.
Live your best life.
And especially in that one, his is better than his, when they're making the little SOS things on the beach. It's like they're both trying to get rescued, but instead of working together to make it happen, they're competing, like whoever can make the best one is best.
That is so, like, that's what would happen.
And it's like, why do humans do that? Why do we compete?
Because,
so much. Like, what is the point of that?
You'll get off the island faster if your SOS is bigger.
I guess.
Right?
I don't know.
Maybe you'll.
It's a beautiful island, though. Why would you want to leave?
Exactly. That's what I never understood about that whole trope. Is like, we spend like most of our lives saving up to try to get to an island, and then you don't want to leave. So anyway, everybody, join us this weekend. Join us tomorrow night at Road to Art. Starts at 7, goes till 10. We're always there late, and we've got 3 great shows, 3 great artists, and that's my commercial. I'm not usually as like amped up on like the promotion thing. I'll interview people that have like museum shows or things like that on occasion, and forget to mention the gallery, so I'm trying to make up for that.
That sounds good.
So anyway, thanks for joining us for this episode 10. Take a look at the Instagram, and you'll see some images of work that we talked about, and join us tomorrow evening. And that's it. See you next week.